Coming up on this episode of Flirtation, spring has sprung more or less, and with it comes a fresh new season of flirting, romance, and dating possibilities. On the show today is Flirtation's own in-house astrologer, fortune teller, and magic mystic Fernie to share with us what the stars have in store for our love lives and how to align with the energy of the universe this season. No matter your experience or knowledge of astrology, you don't need to be an expert. This episode is for you as we explore themes like the power of saying yes to yourself and embracing new opportunities, living life from the heart rather than from the head, and how to have more patience in our dating lives. We're also talking about why Delulu is the Solulu, and finally, we tap into the energy of Venus, the planet of beauty and love, to help us channel confidence and playfulness as we navigate romance. So, get ready to flirt, trust the process, and step into spring with an open heart. Let's do this, flirties.
I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. Hello, my name is Benjamin. I'm the flirt coach and a gay Libra. Everyone has an inner flirt.
Hey, flirty.
Live, laugh, flirt.
Work the flirt.
Work the flirt. Delulu is the Solulu. Expert on the flirt.
Hey, flirty. There's always another flirt.
Everyone has an inner flirt. Get out of your head and into the flirt.
Flirties, back on the show today, we have astrologer, fortune teller, magic mystic, and all-around gorgeous human for our spring dating and flirting horoscope. Fernie, hello and welcome.
Hello, all of you gorgeous flirties. I am just so happy to be here. I am bedazzled in floral caftan realness today because spring is my favorite season, and I'm so excited to be talking about it.
Yes, I love spring as well. And I mean, the caftan is caftaning. It's gorgeous. It's floral. What is it about spring that just makes you feel, I don't know, free, flirty, fabulous, all of the above, something else?
I generally feel free, flirty, and fabulous. Like yes. that's just my aura. But let me tell you that, like, I think spring is really special to me. Spring reminds us of the way that life just is always coming back, and life is just always there for us to enjoy. And so I think like that spiritual energy of like life coming back from what it was going through in winter is just really special to me. So I love spring.
Yes. I love it as well. And I think that I also can confirm I feel flirty and fabulous really 366 days of the year, just for good measure, because I don't want to miss 1 second.
I love it. What's your favorite part about spring? What do you love about spring?
I feel exactly your thoughts and feelings about spring as well, where it just feels like it's starting to warm up. I guess depending where you are in the world, but when your spring happens, the seasons are changing, it's warming up, the days are getting longer, things are blooming, the birds are coming out. It just, all the life is returning, and I am one that definitely experiences a little bit of that sad, during the darker months, the shorter days, it's cold, we're inside more. I feel like a lot of our social opportunities and just ability to connect with nature, it's like we have to put that on pause for a little bit. And I'm so excited we get to go back outside, windows open. It's fabulous.
It really is. Let me tell you, I live in deep South Texas.
Yes.
Like right on the border and like near the Gulf of Mexico. And so we don't really experience seasons like that. Even to like your point, winter is, even when it's hot, like a period in which like the world just kind of like slows down and we retreat into ourselves. And I think spring reminds us that it's nice to bloom. It's nice to blossom. It's nice to grow. And I think like even regardless of the weather, spring is just a gorgeous time to be reminded of that.
Yeah. It's like, wait a second. I may have been in this season of pause, right? Spending more time indoors, but now time to press play, perhaps? I don't know.
We just need to press that play button. This conversation reminds me of this book that I really love. It's called Wintering by Catherine May, and I may have spoken on it a few times. And it's just like, our bodies need some time to rest.
They do.
We need some time to take a little bit of a little sleep.
Uh-huh.
But then when spring comes, hello, gorgeous.
I
Like
know.
it's
And
fine,
then
you know?
I know there's going to be flirters listening that are like, God damn it. Actually, I enjoy the winter.
Y'all enjoy, but it's over. It's done.
But it's yeah, you get to of course enjoy whatever season you like, but it's like about embracing the parts that you do enjoy about all seasons. Like I love in the cooler months, right? In winter, we get the holidays, we get to wear sweaters, we get to have our warm drinks, we get to look at the lights if you're into that. There's Halloween, which I mean, I'm very into. So there's highs and lows through it all.
There definitely is. And I think that's like again, to get like witchy on you, like that is the beauty of being a witch. Like we honor each of like the little changes and turnings of the year. And so like you
Yes.
do have like the Halloween like spookiness, and then you have like the
Hmm.
winter lights, and then you have like the spring returning, and then you have like the summer gorgeousness. So it's just
Absolutely.
every time of year is a gorgeous time of year if you're
Mm.
a free, flirty, fabulous person like you and I are.
Which all the flirties are. The inner flirt is there. If you don't believe us, we're gonna connect to them a little bit more deeply today, as this is Fernie, your fourth time on the show. And I want to give the flirties, I'm going to have you introduce yourself more formally, share a little bit about who you are and what you do. But I want to give the flirties a heads up about what to expect if this is their first episode with you. Way back in June of last year, the second ever episode of Flirtations was with Fernie, and we did a whole episode on astrology. So whether you're new to it or you're like, girl, please, I know all there is to know. This is a great place for you to start or listen and reconnect to what astrology is, what it means to you. And I love how you described it as really this. It's a teacher. It's a tool for introspection, for self-awareness. Not that it has your whole life mapped out in front of you, but it just helps give you a guide. It helps give you some direction. It helps give you some information, even about how you react to different situations, different relationships. And when you can develop that deeper connection with yourself using astrology and all the tools of the universe, I think it just makes, why not? Why not?
100%. Why not? Like, if you have a tool, you should use it. Like, make your life
Yes,
easier, make your life better. There's no
100%.
reason to be like waiting for things to happen when you know that they might.
For sure. So if you haven't checked out that episode, after you finish this one first, then go check that out. And then you have come back during the equinoxes and the solstices
Yep.
to do kind of an astrological check-in. Give us our horoscope. What do the stars have in store for our dating lives, for our love lives, for our flirts and relationships? And so that is what we're going to be focusing on today. What's coming?
So many gorgeous things are coming.
Yes.
And I really feel like the spring season, well, we'll get into it in just a minute,
Yeah.
but it is looking spicy.
Oh.
It's looking fun.
Okay.
It's looking like we're gonna have, the ability to ram through any problem and just figure it out because we want to.
Because we want to, yeah. Uh-huh.
It makes my heart so happy.
I love that. I will say I had a premonition yesterday when I was stalking the arugula as I was thinking about this episode. I swear, sometimes I feel like my life is not real. I feel like it's a satire, and from the outside looking in, it looks a bit odd at times, but I can assure you it's very real. I was stalking the arugula, and I had a thought about what you're going to say today. I'm not going to reveal it just yet, but as it comes out, I wonder if this one word is going to come up in the conversation. I think it might.
Oh my goodness, you have my heart all aflutter now.
I love it. Okay, so we do have a bit of a structure to these episodes now. So we have done our welcome. We have gotten the episode started, and now I teased, right? Let's learn a little bit more about you, Fernie, for the flirties that are getting to know you for the first time.
Well, flirties, if this is your first time here,
It will not be the
last. It's good to see you, and it's good to see me, isn't it? Or hear me.
Yes.
Whatever it is that you're doing, I'm glad that you're here. We're glad that you're here. Today, I'm really in love with Ben's just whole aesthetic. You should see him. He's wearing this cute, sparkly sequins, little crop top, and it's just
Yes.
making my life. I love sequins. I love sparkle. That's something that you should know about me. I'm your favorite fortune teller with Golden Mirror Fortunes. I love just helping people with all sorts of like little magical things that they might need. And so whether that's reading your tarot cards or telling you about like your birth chart or just like giving you some advice as to what's going on in your life, like my goal, my very existence is centered around making your life more magical, making your life more sparkly, just giving you the love, the patience, the kindness, the compassion that, sometimes a cruel world can leave out. And so I want to make sure that I'm giving you the tea. I'm telling you what's going to happen. It might not be pretty all the time, but I am. And I'm going to help make your life pretty just as much as I am. And so I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to be able to like talk about the astrology, to give some little fortune telling, magic into your lives and just get all of this ready for y'all.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And thank you for being here. I love the nails today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sally Hansen, like these are the quick dry.
Yes.
It is such a magical thing because like sometimes I have to be at a school. I'm also an educational consultant and I was a school principal. Well, I can't have the nails. So the quick dry is
The quick
2
dry.
minutes. I'm ready for a show with you.
Perfect. And what a light you are, just reflecting back so much, as much of your energy as I can. Where for our first conversation, I think I just wore, I don't know, a polo or a button up or something. I have slowly, you know what? I was like, for this one today, I got to pull out the sequins crop top. Yeah.
You know what? Actually, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself as well? Maybe this is their
About
first
me?
time. Tell them a little bit about all of this gorgeous, handsome strength and flirting that like you are known for and do.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, my name is Benjamin. I'm the flirt coach and gay Libra. This is my mustache, Leopold. And this is really an experiment. Flirtations, the flirt cast, all of this is, I feel like I had this other, not feel like I did have this other life where I had a 9 to 5 for over 10 years. I went to school to be a city planner. I studied geography. I did that for a long time. And even though I enjoyed the work, I felt very disconnected from my purpose, how I was actually meant to show up and not necessarily serve the world or that something out there was better for me, but there was a different path. I felt like I wasn't on the wrong one. I was on the right one for a long time, but now it was time to get on a different path, to try something new. I always had this creativity. I love creating within me, and I wasn't able just to fully express that. And it's interesting, this theme of connection, which has been a part of my work, my whole career. I did a lot of transportation and land use planning, right? Helping people connect. It was all about connectivity, sidewalks, all the good stuff, all that good stuff. And now the theme of connection continues to come through, but in a very different and flirty way. Yeah.
I love that so much. And I love how that through line of connection does come out. I think that makes my heart really happy. And I think like in thinking about like spring, right? And thinking about like what spring represents, I think it's a really interesting little tidbit of information that both you and I, we're young little 21-year-olds. We're entering like a second like stage in our life, right? Like whether it city planning or education, we're doing flirting and magic, and I think like thinking of spring, and I want for all of you flirties to hear this, like your life is constantly in bloom.
Yes.
If you're not loving like the roses that have popped up in your life, like it's cool, prune them back and see what else is going to grow. If you want to plant some sunflower seeds because you just, you want to see what the brightness is going to pop up, do it. And I think like your story, Ben, is just such a firm and gentle like push for me to remember that like our lives are of our own construction. Like our lives, we are the gardeners of our lives. We are the cultivators of our own joy. And you've done that, and that just makes my heart really happy. So yay, you, a little flirty.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Yes, it was right at about 3 years ago that I had the conversation with my boss that I was leaving, and I remember he was like, "Oh, could we offer?" I think they wanted me to stay, which was flattering. Could we offer you this, or figure it out some way for it to work? And I had to say, actually, I'm leaving this career altogether. and starting my own business. And I had no idea what was ahead of me. It took me over a year just to find 1,000 followers, 1,000 flirties on Flirtstagram, which wasn't a thing at that time. But it's been very rewarding, and it's interesting now to be in this position where sometimes I hear that I'm inspiring, and that is bizarre to me. It's so weird, but I'm very flattered. Yes, because I don't know that I've done anything special, but just when you bet on yourself, right? That's a theme I hope comes through in my content and through the Flirtcast. When you bet on yourself first and just give yourself opportunities, life's going to be full of rejection. I get rejected all the time in so many ways. But you know what? Like, if I can use a sports reference, my batting average is not too bad right now.
I don't know if that's a good thing, but I'll believe it.
It sounded appropriate. I hope it makes sense in this context.
It definitely does. Who doesn't love a man who can swing a big bat?
A sports reference in a sequins crop top.
That's the content that we come for.
Yes.
I want to like bestow upon you. I want to bequeath you like this gorgeous love, and I want for all of you flirties to hear this, but I'm telling this directly to you. Like it can be really hard to believe that we're an inspiration or that we're worthy of what it is that we've been given or that we are where we are, especially because we live in a world that like does love to reject us and does love to tear us down, right? But you are worthy of it. And I think like when I think of astrology, when I think of fortune telling, that actually is probably like my prime directive.
Yeah.
Like, how do I convince you that you are worthy of having a fortunate life?
Yes.
Like, how do I like give you the tools so that way you can say like, you know what, like, you're right, Fernie, like that 3 of Swords with my heart breaking, that did happen. And that doesn't mean that I'm less worthy of like a new love, right? And so I want you to banish that imposter syndrome. I am kicking her out of the party.
Yes.
Shantae does not stay. She can stay away. And this is the sport that I watch. This is my sports reference.
That should have been the reference, because I am getting all of these references from you right now. To the back of the stage you go. Yeah.
All the way back.
All the way back.
Back up your wigs.
Yes.
I cut them up.
Here's your lipstick for your mirror message.
I'm not getting that bitch lipstick at all.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate that, because I really hope to just impart this energy to the flirties as well. Just share it with them, and it's there for you when you need it, however you need to receive it, whenever you're ready to receive it, to know that the love you desire, you seek, it starts from within, creating that deep love for yourself, and then it just radiates out. I think the flirt is, yes, it's a practice of connection. It's a fun style of communication, but also it's this expression of interest without expectations. It's just, I think, embodies the energy of love, and we need so much more of that.
We definitely do.
Yeah.
I think like that is just something that I think you really remind me to do so often. And I hope that all of you all listening are also just getting this deep message. Like, part of the flirt is like recognizing like what you're bringing to the table and like loving yourself enough to be able to go out there and flirt, but then also just, like, be flirting because you love the world. Like, be flirting because you love all of the things that are around you. Let's fill this world with love.
Oh, so well said. And whatever's coming up for you, listening to this, flirties, you're on board, you're skeptical, you're, having some resistance or some self-doubt. This is why we're here. The show is here. Our content is here, because this is a life. I mean, the journey back to you, it's like, I describe it as the journey from your head to your heart, which is not far, maybe a 1.5 feet, something like that.
If you're lucky.
I set you up for that.
Coming out a little bit too much today. I need to stop channeling her.
I'm so glad she did. I threw you. God, I threw you the high heel. I don't want to use another sports reference. I threw you the lipstick, and you caught it, Fernie.
I caught it and I put it in my cleavage, and she's ready to go.
Obsessed. Yeah, the journey from your head to your heart, trying to your best to feel your way through your life rather than think your way through. Of course, we need both skills, but really bringing more feeling, more energy, more intuition, more love into how we live our lives. Because when you live life from that perspective and from that place, it doesn't mean you're not going to experience disappointment or heartbreak or not get it wrong, but it certainly becomes you're a lot less hard on yourself, and you bounce back more quickly, and you keep giving yourself those opportunities, right? You don't shut down, which is where I've been for so long. And coming out of the light or into the light, I want to share this. Yeah.
I love that so much. And I just think like what you just said, I think really encapsulates one of the reasons why I love you so much. Just this like idea, like you are going to be knocked down. Like not every time you flirt is it going to like, you're going to get married.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But just the act of bringing your whole self to this is so transformational and so powerful. And I love that so much.
Well, thank you. This has been so wonderful already. Let us get into, so we typically start these conversations with a check-in, right? How are we doing? How are we feeling? And now a tarot card pull. Yeah.
I already did it while we were talking because I was just feeling all of it in me. And this message is super appropriate for spring. We have the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is the Knight of Earth. He is a steward of the earth. She is somebody who makes sure that the earth is well taken care of. And I think we're starting the beginning of spring with Venus in retrograde, which is when it's like slowing down and we're reviewing and we're revising all of the things that like Venus rules, which is definitely something that you and I like talk about a lot, like connection, love, beauty, all of those things. And so when the Knight of Pentacles is there, he is here to remind us that patience is actually the thing that is going to get us through this. That like you don't eat the fruit the day that you plant seeds, right? Like that you have to tend to your garden in order for it to grow. Yeah. And so when I'm thinking about like the arc of what these next like 6-ish weeks that we'll talk about is going to be, like that is a major theme. Like because on what is you need patience. Like things aren't just going to pop up one day, and just allow for it to bloom as gorgeously as it is, because those flowers will.
Well, I can say that was not my word that came to me with the arugula. The arugula did not whisper patience to me.
It did not?
Not my strongest asset.
Let me go and tell the arugula what they need to whisper.
Exactly.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the theme of patience coming through with this tarot card. All right, okay. Interesting. And now, so let's do a little bit of our check-in, because I love doing this as a coach, kind of what were these past couple seasons like. So the first really astrological horoscope we really got into was with the fall. And I felt like a lot of the themes that came through in that conversation were pleasure, desire, and fun. For our winter check-in, the big theme I felt like was love. Yeah. So how have these past few seasons been for you?
Yeah, I think I am grateful that you're reminding me of this, because I do think that they have been the themes, right? Yeah. When I'm thinking about like the fall equinox to like the winter, it really has been like, how do I reconnect with like what gets my fire going, right? And in order to build a fire, something has to burn, right? You have to get rid of things. And I think I got rid of some of the things that were keeping me from being in touch with my desire. I was able to get those trees out of my life that were preventing me from seeing the desire that I had, and then build this gorgeous little bonfire that I think really warmed my heart and allowed me to access that, which I think is just really beautiful. And then I think in winter with love, I've been doing a lot of reflecting on like what love is, and regardless of whatever's happening in the world, like I think that like the world could always just use more love, right?
Yes.
And when I'm reflecting on like the way that I want to show up, I do want to show up in the most loving way possible because I think that is an act of like radical difference. It can create like these transformations.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, like I am like a man wearing like makeup and like caftan and heels and like showing up in all the ways that I do. And if I can show love to anybody, then I also want that love, you know? And how do I like continue to spread this message that one of my like idols, Walter Mercado, like always said, which is like con mucho amor, right? With lots and lots of love. And so even when the world is, you know, at its worst, like how do I still show up with love? How do I still show up to love my friends and my family and to love people that like I don't necessarily want to love, right?
Yeah.
Like those things that I threw into the fire.
Yeah.
I still have to love that ash. And I have to take care of the earth that is around it. And I have to do the things that are going to make my world better.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means working and talking and doing things with people that maybe aren't filling my heart with that love, but you can force that love if you really try.
Yes. Yes. And I love it. Fully embodying BFE, big flirt energy.
Yeah.
This is it. If we had to bottle it up, Fernie just served it to you.
Hello. It's delicious. I promise.
A little bit goes a long
desire
way.
and love. You know, it's very delicious. I want to drink it all the time. It's just something that I pour onto myself. This BFT.
Put it on the neck, on the wrist. Yeah, it's really all purpose.
You know, in between, you know, whatever else needs some little flirting energy. Then tell us a little bit about how like desire and love have shown up for you.
In very interesting ways. So I feel like part of this process is letting go of expectations. I talk about this in the flirt a lot because if you have those expectations, like it's one thing to want something to go a certain way, but then having that expectation or that desire for something to go a certain way, but then to have this expectation that if it doesn't, it was somehow bad, wrong, or a failure. Letting go of those expectations then opens up so many possibilities about what something could be. And what's interesting is as I've really tried to practice letting go of expectations, I find that the way I think something will go or should go and it doesn't go that way, I'm not disappointed because I know it's all happening for me and my higher purpose, right? Yeah. So with the fall season, it was really about like saying yes to more things and giving myself those opportunities to have fun, but then not feeling like I feel like in the past I would give myself this quota where it's like, oh, I have to go out every Friday, or oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. But I work a lot and that's not always possible. And I still am an introvert and I get tired sometimes, or I'm working, I'm editing an episode. So letting go of that expectation that I have to say yes to this many things and just enjoying what's presented in front of me, but then also making plans to go to the movies, to go to the haunted house, right? And so I feel like I was able to bring fun in a more balanced way, which was refreshing. And then for the winter, it was I felt like, because my healing has oftentimes been very physical, and so I've been having a lot of energy shifts, I feel like, in my heart chakra area. And one of the scarier parts about love is, I think, when you start to really apply it to yourself and allow yourself to see your potential, to see yourself through with something. I think a lot of times we try something or we start something and then give up. But what if you just stuck with it that little bit? What if you believed in yourself enough to know that you have potential, that you deserve to be happy and content and be loved and experience love? And so, yeah, I've just tried to be with that feeling of openness a little bit more, and just believe in myself more. And I think it's coming through in my content more, where it's just that authentic perspective, right? Yes, authenticity is just, I think, coming through that extra little bit. And for me, on this side of the mic and camera, it's really refreshing. It feels a little bit easier, which maybe you can relate to.
100%. It is so hard to pretend to be something that you're not, right?
And you
And
just, doing this, you can't do it. I mean, you
no,
can. You can, but anyway, continue, please.
I would not want to. That would be like trying to throw a football. It's out of character.
I dropped it. It didn't even go anywhere.
Where is this? What is this? What is,
Cont-
I'm actually, just so all of y'all know, I actually did play football in middle school and high school. I was a strong tackle.
Yeah.
I'm built like a linebacker, so you know.
Well, and while we're on the topic of football, someone correctly predicted the Super Bowl winner. Yes.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
So, you know, if you have some sports betting that you need to do, explain to me the sport.
And
I might be able to do
call.
a little predicting for you.
I love it.
I love it too. But yeah, I think like just referencing like desire and love and like thinking about like how we're walking into spring with these lessons that we've learned. I think they're going to serve us very, very well. So that makes my heart happy.
Yeah. Step into your light, flirties. This is the season to do it. Okay, all right, Fernie, I think we've got to get into our spring horoscope. Okay, you've talked to the universe, you've looked at the stars, you've worked your magic. What could we anticipate going into this season?
So there's so much gorgeousness happening. So like literally spring is a gorgeous little time, but I do want to just like name that we're starting spring with Venus in retrograde, or Venus not in retrograde, with Venus retrograding. And so when Venus retrogrades, it brings a lot of things to the surface that perhaps we were like hoping could stay, you know, down. And so we're having to reflect on our relationships, the way that we relate, the way that we connect, the way that like we want to present, the way that we want to be viewed, and the way that like we're seen. And I think like this is a really gorgeous time to just really understand like you're not meant to be like the exact same thing every single day, right? And I think like as you were talking about like authenticity and showing up as your authentic self, Venus retrograde really helps to like slough off all of that like pretense that we sometimes just like cover ourselves in. And I was like, no, like you need to get this away from yourself. Like this isn't who you want to be. This isn't how you want to show up. So let's do that. And so on the 21st, Venus retrograde sextiles Pluto. And that's a lot of like fancy little language to say that like we're interacting with the power that others have, with the powers that we have, the way that we want to hide. And then like figuring out like how do we actually want to use that to make ourselves be who we want to be. It's a very like butterfly coming out of the cocoon moment. You're not like quite ready, flirties, but I think you're starting to like feel the spring breeze, like shaking your cocoon open.
Yeah. Okay.
But then we have the most gorgeous thing happening on Saturday, the 22nd. We have a Venus Kazemi.
I've never heard that word before. I'm seated. What's happening?
That wasn't what the arugula whispered to you. They didn't whisper Kazemi.
It didn't say Kazemi. Maybe it said Tzatziki, but no. I'm being silly.
So a Kazemi is when a planet like joins the sun. So they come together in a direct conjunction. The sun, when planets aren't like directly conjunct, can like burn things, and so it can be like a little sunburn. But when they come together, it's like you're shining a spotlight, you're shining this like really healing, beautiful light onto the planet. And so when Venus goes through its Kazemi moment, it's like this purifying moment. It's this time in which like we're really getting to see the way that we want to show up, the way that we want to, the way that we want to relate. How is it that we're integrating all of these lessons that a Venus retrograde might be teaching us, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe you're like realizing, you know what? Like I can sometimes be a little bit of a diva. And in my relationships, I'm not showing up the way that I want to because of these diva moments that I'm having. And that Kazemi moment might like help you see like, you know what? I can be a diva like this, or I can like show up like this, or I can integrate them, right? And how do you find that integration point? How do you find that way to like really help you be your authentic self while still relating to others? And I think like on the 22nd,
Wow.
when that happens, it's really going to allow all of you flirties to really see, okay, if I want to be this person who is able to flirt, who is able to find love, who is able to like really make love happen for myself, what are my standards?
Yes.
What is it that I actually want?
Yep.
And how am I going to get it? And then who am I in able to like show up in this way that is going to bring me this really beautiful love? And so I really love it. And so mark your calendars, the 22nd, get your little love candles ready, get your little journals ready, and just like reflect and see what pops up.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, if you're listening to this episode upon debut, this 22nd will be tomorrow. I love some of these themes already coming through, where it seems like it's a lot of the maybe internal work, kind of self-awareness that's we've been doing through these past couple seasons. That theme of patience coming back here, where it's like, where's the result? Where's the change? Where's the thing? Where's the relationship? It's really about coming into your own, like selfhood is the word that's coming to mind, right? What are my standards? What are my boundaries? What do I want? If I'm in a situationship or a connection, a relationship that's not serving me, do I believe and deserve that I deserve something more, something different? Yeah.
And I think like that really is like what a Venus retrograde shows us.
Yeah. Okay.
What is it that you actually want? And are you willing to wait for it? You know?
Oof.
Because you don't have to have everything right now, Mise en is. Like you can wait for something better if you're not loving what you're having, or something even just different, and allow yourself to recognize that like that is something that you do want.
Oh,
and I think like the next like little piece of love astrology that is happening, but that really I think just super showcases this is on the 27th of March. We have two beautiful little transits. So the first one, Venus, because it's going backwards now, that's what a retrograde means. It appears to be going backwards in the sky, is entering or re-entering Pisces.
Okay.
And Venus in Pisces is the most like beautiful, loving, poetic, dreamy thing. And because it's retrograding into it, it's allowing for us to like dive back into these waters of our dreams. It's like showing us like, okay, what would your dream relationship look like?
Yeah.
What would your dream partner look like?
Yeah.
What would be the poetry that you two would read together? What would be the art that you two would make together? What would be the songs that you would sing to each other? And while all of that might sound like too fantastical, that is literally what Venus and Pisces wants for you to be doing.
Okay.
It wants for you to be just like letting the fantasy like breathe and open up.
Yeah.
And because it's during its retrograde, it's like asking you to review, okay, cool. Like maybe you can't have like, you know, your boyfriend wake you up every morning with like, you know, a mariachi song. But like if that's what you want, like are you getting something that's like similar to it? Like, you know, like or are you waking up to something that is like so far off from your fantasy? Fantasies teach us a lot about like what it is that we actually are desiring, right?
Yes.
What it is that we actually are loving.
Oh, absolutely.
And that same day, Venus comes together with Neptune. And Neptune, again, also rules like illusions and dreams and fantasies. And so it's doing two things in one day that are just really highlighting this idea of like, what is the fantasy? What is like the way that you want your life to show up? And then do you, going back to our little theme of patience, have the patience to wait for it to happen?
Yeah.
Or are you going to settle for, you know, something less because you don't want for the fantasy to like, you know, take too long to get here?
Yeah.
And
that's
like,
a big
the
one.
difference between like having a runt banana and an actual banana. And you get to choose which one you want, right?
All right. Yeah. We're going to stay here for a minute as Venus, the planet of beauty, right?
Love, beauty.
Yes. Love, beauty.
connection.
My chart is ruled by Venus. And if you're curious, right, what ruler of your chart would be, that's all in that second episode, how to figure all that out, find all that out. Of course, Fernie is an amazing resource. Y'all, you should probably look them up. Anyways, episode 2 is going to be really, really good for you of Flirtations. Yeah, I feel like it's because I've been in that space too of rushing, not just connections, relationships, but just things in my life. Like our world is so much, it's designed around instant gratification. We want what we want and we want it now. And that's been a tough pattern to break as you start, because I feel like Venus energy is a little bit more like she feminine. So it's a little more fluid. It's a little bit more, it's not kind of like go, 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 do, do, do. It's about patience, receiving, embracing, but also sowing the seeds that you have done for your manifestations, for your dreams, for your fantasies in some of these past seasons.
I love that you just named it like that. Y'all can see that the Empress is right behind me. She is very much Venusian. She even has like a little Venus symbol on her shield. And it really is about like that embracing of things. Like you can't force, you can't shove, you can't tease or like fight for something.
No, you can't fix someone, right? Make them show up a certain way. You can't do their healing for them. That's not how. No.
Where were you 8 years ago?
Oh, Lord. Literally doing all of this. breaking my own heart. I had this I did this episode with Nicole Vignola, neuroscientist, and we talked about so many amazing, interesting things. And she presented this concept of how we oftentimes, not just in dating, but throughout other areas of our lives, break our own hearts. When, if you're dating, and because that's what we talk about a lot on Flirtations, it's reasonable that you're going to experience heartbreak and rejection. But I feel like she helped shift something into place for me about why sometimes those moments hurt so much, is because we've slowly been breaking our own hearts in the process, when we don't advocate for ourselves, when we people please, right? When we rush, when we attach, when we sacrifice, self-abandon our own wants and desires, our boundaries. Yes. So in this practice of patience, I think as Venus is presenting to us, practicing boundaries and all that good stuff so that you can receive some of those higher vibrational gifts, people, experiences. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, that was beautifully said.
Fantastic.
I think like when I'm envisioning breaking your own heart, I'm thinking that that's what a Venus retrograde actually invites you to do. Like, okay, like, that you've done some stuff to yourself that's hurt. So let's break your heart. Let's break your heart open. Let's see what's inside it.
Yeah.
Let's see like what is causing you this hurt, what is causing you this pain, what is causing you to feel like this.
Yeah.
So that way, like you can then know in the future that this is what happens. This is where it hurts,
Yeah. I've heard on Flirtations before, your breakdown is your breakthrough. I loved that rephrasing. And I wanted to ask just a moment of a question of clarity here. This applies, what we're talking about today, regardless of if you are a Pisces or if you are a Libra or a Gemini. Right. This is applicable to all flirties throughout the zodiac.
Yep. And so I will use this as a teaching moment as a former school principal. And so astrology has like different like ways of looking at it, right? And so the horoscopes that you typically read when you're like reading through a horoscope is designed for your sign and the way that your sign is interacting with the transit that I'm describing, right? And so if let's say that you're in Aries, because that's just easiest for this, because Aries is the first sign. Pisces would be your 12th house, which is like the house of hidden secrets and like your dreams and the way that things end, right? So just so y'all can see like this little example. So if Venus has gone into your house of hidden secrets because you're in Aries, your horoscope might say something about like you're harboring a secret crush and you're not sure how to let them know. or you're reflecting on the way that some of your relationships have ended. And so that's how like a horoscope is written.
Okay.
It applies the transit to your sign in the way that it is appearing in like the houses. So there you go, a little educational moment for
Very
all
helpful.
flirties.
We love a teaching moment on Flirtations, truly.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to reveal the secret word now that the arugula whispered to me.
Have I said it?
No, but you have
Oh.
you've come so very close. When you were talking about fantasy, I feel like
Yeah.
that is right there. It's one of my favorite words, Delulu.
Oh my God.
That's what the
I
arugula said
love
to me.
Delulu. I love the delusion in
Yes.
flirting. We
Yeah.
need a little bit of Delulu in flirting.
And so I wanted to, do you think there's a little bit of Delulu energy perhaps in this coming season?
So on that specific day, yes, 100%. Yes, because Neptune is illusions, which is delusion. Pisces is fantasy, which is also delusions. And so we are kicking this off, the 27th, a season of Delulu.
Yeah.
I think like Venus is retrograding, so it might not be like always the most comfortable Delulu, but it is definitely like this feeling that like, oh my God, like I want this.
Yeah.
I deserve this. Let me
Yeah.
get this. And deluding yourself into recognizing that you are worth it.
Yes.
Because I think like we just need sometimes a little bit of that delusion to get ourselves through it.
I agree. Delulu is the Solulu. I mean, in moderation, but I stand by that statement fully.
I'm 100% believe you. My personal trainer says that I exist in my own little reality because all of my delusions just come true.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, because if you can Delulu it, you can make it happen.
Exactly. Delulu is a Solulu until it becomes True Lulu. If you want the full tagline, there it is.
What?
I know.
Where has this been all my life?
For real.
Is the Lulu until you make it Trululu.
Yes. Yes.
I think that you should trademark this because if you don't, you might just see it on like some Golden Mirror Fortunes merch.
I am trying. I hope by the time this is released that my trademark application has been approved. It's been a long time coming.
Let me see.
Okay, yeah, you better believe I want a TM after every single thing. Because these people, one day, this is going to be real, real big, and the scammers are going to be coming. They are.
They probably are.
They already have come.
I'm sure. They're like reaching out to people like, do you want your flirting coaching?
Yes.
Send me the money. I know.
Yeah.
They try to reach out to me. I'm like, no.
They've already tried me. They've tried me. They're getting slick, but I'm going to try and be always, not just one, but two steps ahead. Because
we're very slick. We know all the tricks of being slick.
A little Scorpio in that chart. So
that Scorpio knows all about the slickness.
Oh my God, Fernie, do you have a couple extra minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just go a few more minutes. I wanted to stay here on the theme of Delulu a little bit, and then we'll conclude the conversation where the flirties can find you on the internet, because I want to break down Delulu.
Yeah.
A little bit. Give some context to it. Give some words to the experience. What does it mean, or what does it feel like to you?
I think you and I have actually probably spoken about Delulu in every single one of our little
100%.
times. And I think what Delulu, like I think in especially in reference to like flirting, in reference to like what this is, it's kind of like just confidence taken up to another level, right?
Yeah.
It's like this idea that like there are things in this world that you deserve and that you are going to make happen. And sometimes you have to have a little bit of this delusional like self-confidence in order for it to happen. Like I don't think that like I was in my right senses in 2019 when I was like, you know what? Like I may have just opened 2 schools, but I'm also going to open a fortune telling business. Like I had a little bit of a delusion.
That's a little crazy, but you did it.
And that's like the same energy that you should be bringing to your flirting. And I think when we're thinking about like Venus retrograding and like this delusion, allow for it to break down, like what we were talking about earlier, like this imposter syndrome that is preventing you from having all of the Delulu in your life.
Yeah.
Like, is there a part of you that is like, oh my God, I don't deserve like, you know, this partner. I
Mhm.
don't think that this kind of person is ever going to respond to me if I flirt with them.
Mhm.
I don't know that I know what I want in life because I don't know that like I can have it.
Mhm.
Make all of that noise disappear.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Venus is bringing that up for you because she wants for you to see it,
Mhm.
see how ridiculous it is, and say, like, you know what? I'm now going to enter my Delulu phase. I am now going to channel
Yeah.
Venus and Pisces, Venus with Neptune,
Yep.
and just allow for these fantasies to flow through my gorgeous body
Yes.
and see the truth for what it is.
Mm.
And the truth, my loves, is that you are effing
Mm.
amazing.
Mm.
You are effing fabulous.
Mm.
You deserve love in
Mm.
all of the gorgeous ways that you can imagine it and
Yep.
envision it and fantasize about it.
Yes.
So the Lulu is the Solulu
Yes.
till it becomes Trululu because you have to know that it is there for you. And that is going
Yes.
to be what is going to get you everything that you want, my loves.
Oh my gosh. So well said. Yeah, that's it. That's it exactly. It's this kind of play with fantasy and whimsy and confidence. Like the phrase that comes to mind sometimes is "fake it till you make it," but
Yeah.
it's a little bit of that energy too. But I like just this subtle switch I made in my own self thinking was, what if it doesn't work out? What if the relationship, what if they leave? What if they reject me? What if I'm not good enough? Right? Playing on these core fears, these underlying wounds that I'm still working through. But the subtle switch, what if it did? What if it did? And that's really all it takes. And and it's a practice, right? You'll keep coming back to that. I mean, when I think about quitting my job and starting my coaching journey, training to be a coach, what if no one follows? What if no one books a call? What if this doesn't work out? What if I have to eat crow and go back to work? What if, what if, what if? But what if it did? What if I figured it out, found my way through, flirted my way through, and I mean, I'm a nearly 40-year-old man wearing a crop top with a business founded on flirting. Like, that's insane.
It really is. And I got this card the other day. It's the Seven of Cups for all of you tarot heads out there.
Yeah.
And Jessica Dore, in her book Tarot for Change,
Hmm.
she invites us to look at the Seven of Cups, which is a card of choice and a card of
Hmm.
fantasy and illusion, in exactly the exact same way that you're talking about. Like, right? Like, what if I choose this and it was the wrong thing to choose?
Mm.
What if I drink from
Yeah.
this cup
Yeah.
and like I get poisoned or whatever? And she's like,
Yeah.
no, like you need to be thinking, like, what if I choose this and the absolute best thing that could have happened happens?
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
what if I drink this cup and like the magic just pours through me?
Yeah.
And I think like flirties, you all know that like life isn't easy. So why make it harder for yourself by
I
like
know.
envisioning the worst? Like envision the best. And it'll
Yeah.
happen. Or it won't. But you'll at least have not added to your plate some worry.
Yeah. Your Delulu is not insane at all. It's
Mm.
actually the most sane, rational thinking you may have, but your brain is going to try and convince you, your heart is going to try and convince you that, right, it's you don't deserve it or it's not for you. But coming back to maybe how we started, right, making that transition, that journey from the head to the heart, just leading life with more of that heart energy, a little bit of Delulu at times for sure. I mean, the possibilities are limitless. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I've been thinking of Glinda throughout our entire thing. And
Yes.
yeah, like right, like we are unlimited. We are limitless. And I mean, like
Mhm.
just look at what she did. She deluded herself into thinking that she can do whatever she wanted.
Yeah.
And she kind of did.
Yeah.
And you too, my loves. And
Yes.
I give you all magic wands
Oh
to
my
make your
gosh.
life as magical as you need for them to be.
I love it. You get to do that as well. Flirties. Somehow, Fernie, this has been I blinked and the conversation is over.
I don't know how it happened, but it was a gorgeous one.
We had a fun and flirty good time. I want to send all the flirties your way to where you live on the internet to work with you if they'd like to, yes, do a reading, something like that. Where can they find you?
So, flirties, I am your favorite fortune teller on TikTok, on Instagram.
Yes.
You can find me at Golden Mirror Fortunes. My name is Fernie, and I can't wait to serve you.
Fernie, Thank you so much for making the time once again to come back on Flirtations. We'll see you in the very near future for our summer horoscope. But until then, let's wish all the flirties happy flirting.
Happy flirting, mis amores. Los quiero mucho. Thank you all so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Fernie.
Of course.
All right, flirties, that's a wrap on this episode of Flirtations, our dating horoscope for the spring season. Wherever you may be in the world, the energy of the universe absolutely transcends time and space, seasons. This episode is for you, your horoscope for love, romance, and dating for these next couple months. Yes, thank you so much to Fernie for being back on the show today to share so much with us. I love these conversations. I look forward to them every season. Fernie will, of course, be back for the summer. Until then, if you're looking for some support with your astrology, your horoscope, you want to work with Fernie one-on-one, get a reading, go deeper. I mean, what are you waiting for, Flirty? What are you waiting for? All the links in the show notes below. Thank you, Fernie. And thank you to you, the Flirty, for listening, for tuning in, for streaming wherever you may be in the world. Could not do any of this without you. Please rate, review, subscribe to the show if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. I really mean it. And share this episode or another with a friend, someone you want to share some BFE, big flirt energy with. I'd love you for it and greatly appreciate it. Okay, Flirty, signing off officially here at Flirt Headquarters. My name is Benjamin. I'm the Flirt Coach and Gay Libra. Happy flirting.